Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. You need an orthopedist? Go to Brock. Need a roof? Call Parish. We appreciate y'all for being there. And of course, as always, Restored Motions and restoredmotions.com. If you are living in pain, don't book a session with Crystal Poche. She'll get you out of it. Okay. We'll get cooking here this morning, y'all. Hope y'all had a great Friday night. Was out at the varsity for the Battle of the Bands with Eagle 98.1. Congratulations to Leif Mesh out of Lafayette, our winner, who will be opening for Kenny Wayne Shepherd at the River Center on July 13th. There were 5 bands that participated. They were, and I'll tell you very honestly, y'all, people say this all the time, oh, it's such a hard decision. It really was a hard decision. Like, there were 3 bands that really stood out, and trying to decide like which one you're going to give a life-changing opportunity to is a potentially life-changing opportunity is really difficult. So, but congratulations to Leif Mesh, really gifted musically, a 3-person band, the lead guitar, vocal, bass, drums, kind of like Nirvana. But they were musically sensational. His vocals were awesome. They did some, originals, did a few covers. They were awesome. So they really were. They were magnificent. So anyway, but congrats to all the finalists. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Couple of things to get to here. Bryce Underwood was back at LSU, and for all the conversation earlier this week about the Elite 11 and the MVP and everything like that, like yesterday, you see Bryce Underwood didn't compete at the Elite 11. And now you know why. Because Bryce Underwood and his family decided instead of flying out to compete in the Elite 11, they decided to fly to Baton Rouge so he could be in Tiger Stadium Friday night for Friday Night Lights, which is a massive camp and recruiting event for LSU. And so Bryce Underwood and Harlem Berry, the 2 5-stars in the 2025 class, were both there and recording other potential members of the 2025 class. Garrett Nussmeier was out there as well because his brother was participating, his younger brother. So if you ask me, would I rather Bryce Underwood go compete in the Pajama Olympics against Keelan Russell and the rest of those quarterbacks, or be in the number 1 player in the country, be in Baton Rouge, in Tiger Stadium for Friday Night Lights, to help recruit, get to know his teammates, his coaches better? Yeah, I think I'd take the latter, not the former. But LSU did get a commitment. 4-star defensive tackle Richard Anderson committed to LSU. So Richard Anderson is a 2026 defensive tackle, meaning he's a rising junior. I mean, this is the summer before his junior year of high school. He's from Carr down in New Orleans. Get this: 6'3.5", 325, going into his junior season. That's 6'3.5", 325. So he's ranked as the number 131 overall player in the country. He's a high 4-star, the 7th best player in the state. Remember, we've talked about this before, y'all. 2026 for Louisiana, there's a bumper crop in the state for 2026. Jakeem Stewart, the number 1 player in the state, is the number 3 player in the country, defensive lineman out of St. Aug. Lamar Brown, offensive lineman from U High, is the number 5 player in the country. Blaine Bradford, safety from Catholic, the number 15 player in the country. So you have 3 players, 1 from St. Aug, 1 from U High, 1 from Catholic High, 3 in the top 15 nationally for 2026. Bryson Martinez from EA is the number 40 player nationally. He's an offensive tackle. Aiden Hall, safety out of Carr, is the number 46 player nationally. I mean, that's 5 players in the top 46 in the country, all from within, and like the farthest away is Edna Carr and St. Aug. Like, and you got 3 in Baton Rouge. So anyway, Richard Anderson is the 7th best player in the state for 2026, and now he's already committed. He said, easy decision. Told Sam Spiegelman, easy decision. Just stay home. So Tigers getting started already on that elite 2026 class with the big defensive tackle, Richard Anderson. Okay, y'all, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Fire away. As always, YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please follow that profile. Again, I'll keep reminding you, we're going to keep doing this as Facebook kind of changed some things around on their algorithm. But if you could follow, well, I've done the show on my personal page forever. We're doing it on the profile, or my professional page, doing it on the profile now. So please go and follow that profile. That would be super helpful. You can set notifications and everything there. Okay. Game Cube Gamer, morning, Matt. Find it funny Alabama fans are overhyping their quarterback recruit and downplaying Bryce Underwood. They're doing whatever makes them feel better. It's a very insecure feeling that they have right now because they're not used to being doubted. And so they're having to deal with that. And I'm sure that's very, very unsettling for folks that have spent the last 2 decades having the feeling they were better than everyone. And then all of a sudden you're not anymore. James McKinney, Crawfish Etouffee. Coach Kelly's killing it right now. The best thing he did, Crawfish Etouffee, he finally got his staff right, man. Not only do you have great coaches, but you have great recruiters that understand how to recruit this state, man. Corey Raymond, Bo Davis, retaining Brad Davis is the best decision he made. Of course, Frank Wilson, the Godfather. He's got the staff to do it, man. I just don't think he got it initially. Chef 22504, love that. Morning, Sconer. Weston Weaver, what's good, man? David Tolson, good morning. Bama fans are coping hard. Strong Side, good morning. How about a little Pearl Jam on the guitar this morning? Hey, Eric and Drew are still sleeping. When they wake up, I'll happily do it. And by the way, Leif Mesh, who won, he wrapped up with Black by Pearl Jam. So, or they wrapped up with Black by Pearl Jam. So great, man. Cliff Nelson, more on Uncle Scone. Bonus content locked on LSU. Hashtag Team Drew. Yeah, man. So got home. So y'all will appreciate this because we're all close. So yesterday was a long day. So I woke up at 5:30, went to the gym, worked out, came home, did morning scone, got dressed, shower, dressed, whatever, did morning scone, ran to a meeting at Parrish, then a meeting at Glow Resources, then I had a lunch meeting with my buddy Dan Palmer over at Mockler. From there, went up to Guarantee, got there about 2 o'clock, 1:45, 2 o'clock, ish. Hurried, prepped through the show, hosted AFR. As soon as AFR was done, jetted over to the Texas Club. Parrish was the title sponsor, so we had to set up tents and banners and stuff. So set all that stuff up. We finally wrap up the Battle of the Bands around midnight, take down the tents and everything like that. I go to load my car. There is not a nail, a bolt in my tire. So my rear left tire is flat. The bolt, like the head of the bolt was like that big. I mean, it was, so there I am in the parking lot of the Texas Club at 12:30 in the morning, changing my tire to put a donut on to drive home. Then, so I'm going up Airline to get to I-12, thinking I'll loop over to I-10. Well, they're doing road work naturally. So the loop to get back to I-10 is shut down. I have to go all the way to College Drive and come back. Got home last night after midnight and recorded that Locked On bonus episode last night after 1 a.m. I recorded that bonus episode after 1 a.m. Showered, got in bed about 2:30. Now here we are doing this. So your boy had a long day yesterday, and a nap might be in my future today. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Cliff. So I'm very excited. First week of Locked On LSU. Locked On LSU is a Monday to Friday podcast. The Locked On Network is Monday to Friday, but they do give us the option if we want to submit bonus content, we can on a bonus content schedule on the weekends, or if something like there's a big breaking news story or something. So my plan is to do Locked On LSU every day, and I'll tell y'all why. And I think I told y'all this yesterday, but I don't like to finish I want to win at everything. And so, like, I don't like to lose at anything at all. And Locked on LSU right now, there's about 60 or so college shows, Locked on college shows. So, Auburn and Alabama and Tennessee and Penn State and Michigan, there's like 60 of them. And when I left Locked On a couple of years ago, every week, David Locke, the owner, would send out this email blast to everybody and have the rankings for each of the channels. And every week it was like me, Auburn, and LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee. We just rotate who was in the top spot in a given week. Well, now I just checked, like, for the most recent month, Locked on LSU was like 30-second in audio and like 40-something in video. And I was like, it's about time the season kicks off. I'll be top 10 in both, and look out, because I'm coming for everybody. So part of the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do an episode every day. So I will do bonus content every Saturday and Sunday. We're leaving for the beach on Thursday. I will have a show every day when I'm at the beach. I'll have bonus content every day, every weekend day. So if y'all would, it would be a huge, huge help. And just very candidly, YouTube is great for Locked On, but the audio is more of the focus. So if you can go on your favorite podcast app, whatever podcast app you got, and just search Locked On LSU, subscribe and download it. I just posted the Apple link in there. Of course, you can go catch it on Facebook, on YouTube as well. If you'd rather watch, you can absolutely do that. But I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. So thanks for mentioning that, Cliff. Okay. Ryan, morning. At my wife's horse show, still would miss the morning show. Bama's still burning. I love it. Bubba, did the Bammers Bammer Trolls follow AFR yesterday? I don't know, Bubba. So I invited them. I tweeted out the link inviting them. Like, literally, I tweeted, to all my dear Alabama friends, I'd love to welcome you to watch the show. Like, I did about 250 yesterday. So I don't know how many did, but a few times I checked and I didn't really see much activity. A little bummed about it, but oh well. Kobe, Kelly Gross, KDP, good morning from the 318. All right, man. Brad, do you think Brent Venables deserves a 6-year extension already? I was stunned by that. So Oklahoma, of course, Brent Venables had a really rough first year. Then last year, he went 10-2. I mean, you're coming into the SEC. I could certainly understand wanting to give the sense of, or air of, stability coming into the SEC and trying to recruit. But my goodness, especially in a year where you lose Jeff Lebby, your OC, Dylan Gabriel, your quarterback, and I know they're excited about Jackson Arnold, finally getting his chance to be the starter. But Oklahoma has a brutal schedule. Vegas has their projected win total. It's over under 7.5. So what if they go 7-5 this year? I mean, how is that contract going to look if they go 7-5? So I don't know, man. David Bass, what's good? Lou, literally the last two teams I'd want to see in the CWS. With the success, will A&M open their checkbooks even more? Lou, I think there's two ways to look at. Well, probably. I mean, they got more money than anybody, so they'll spend what they need to spend. But I wonder if success might breed complacency. Let's see. Was Moses there last night? I don't know. I didn't see any pictures of him there. Remember, this was a I don't know. Let me just say I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't know. Trivia, what's going on, man? Bubba Smith, good morning. Damn, it's burning. I love it. Brett DeGrow, what's good, man? Bourbon hunting this morning? All right, man. Let me know if there's anything successful, any finds. 25 to 28 LSU is going to be stacked. I agree. Typically when you look at those years where LSU's had that kind of that bumper crop, like 2001, for example, the Michael Clayton, Marcus Spears, Marquise Hill, that that whole group, right? Stephen Peterman, or was he from Mississippi? Or no, it was, I think Whitworth. Whitworth was in the '01 class. Here you go. Yeah. Marcus Spears, Michael Clayton, Ben Wilkerson, Marquise Hill, Joseph Adai, Benny Purcell, Andrew Whitworth. I mean, yeah. So Rudy Nicewanger is who I was thinking of. Anyway, so point is, and then that, of course, was the core of the '03 championship team. So sometime, 2011 was the fam that had Jarvis and Odell and Freak Johnson and all those guys, Lyle Collins. They kind of became the core of not of the 2011 run, but they were part of the 2011 team. And then, of course, in 13, you had that great offense, but the defense just had lost a ton of people. Of course, you could look at the 2019 championship with Jamar and Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Patrick Queen, and all the Louisiana guys that were part of that team. So you look and, or even the 09 class, right? The 09 class with Russell Shepard was the number one class in the country, and then that was the core of the 2011 team. So really, you can look at any elite level signing class like what LSU's put together for 2025 and say by year 3, so 27, that class should be ready for a national championship run. And then when you look at what's in state for 2026, like you could really look at that at that time frame and say, yeah, that should be a really fun time around Baton Rouge with that core. David, 26 seems far away. It'll be here before you know it. Let's get the Louisiana boys. Hey, Dad, good morning. Berta Giraffe, good morning. Marty Moonbeam, go Tigers. Rocky, what's going on? Club Ruckus, good morning, 9 o'clock on Saturdays. So the weekends always vary, Club Ruckus, quite honestly. It's just a matter of whenever I wake up and get this thing fired up. So some days, some weekends it's earlier, some weekends it's later. It just kind of depends. So that's why I got to set your notifications on the weekends. Merritt Mathern, morning, Matt. May have missed it. Did you pick a date for the Parish Hat Party? We have not yet, Merrick. Our plan was going to be to do it around the Super Regional, had LSU made it, but they didn't. So we're kind of looking for a possible event to do it here this summer. But we'll get there, man. We'll get there. And thank you for the support. Arlen, how do we feel about the 2025 recruiting class? Obviously, highly ranked, but only 3 commits are on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, it's a good question. So that's something I talked about last week with Shea Dixon. And they have a line on a lot of the defensive guys that are going to commit. A big part of it, obviously, is going to be the defensive line as well. And remember, like Bo Davis coming in from Texas, he was already recruiting a lot of these same guys at Texas. So now he's trying to get in on them for LSU. You've got Jabari Antoine committed, who's a top 10 cornerback in the nation. So that's a fair point. But remember, it's right now that class is looking like quality over quantity. I mean, they're number 2 in the country, and they've only got 12 commits. By comparison, Bama's a spot behind LSU at 3, and they've got 17 commits. So quality over quantity, clearly, for LSU right now. Trivia, about to start my tea time. Have a great day. All right, trivia. Hit him straight, man. Hit him straight. Let's see. Was it Penny Pitcher night last night, too? It was not. And I really didn't drink much. I mean, I probably drank 3 or 4 Bud Lights over a 6-hour span. So I wanted to be of sound mind so I could fairly judge the bands. And obviously I was driving home from the Texas club. So I was not in any spot or interest to tie one on last night. So no, it was not Penny Pitcher night. Sure, there were a lot of people who had a really good night, but as far as libations, my friend Michael, good morning, Matt. Currently work. Want to stop and say what's up. Coach Kelly does what he wants. He's doing a great job, man. Derek Fontenot, do one of those Parish hats up here in Ruston. We got plenty of them, man. and happy to spread them around. So if you're down in Baton Rouge way, man, come on, we got plenty at the office. Brant, morning, last day at Orange Beach, back to work reality on Monday. Enjoy it, man. Soak up them rays. Enjoy your Saturday. Dustin Balello, hope the Scone family has a great weekend. Thank you, Dustin. Same to you and yours, man. Oh, there's my podcast link. Abner, good morning. Since I started giving my wife Evermore, she hasn't had a cold drink. Thanks for the heads up. I love it, man. Love to hear that. It really is a fantastic product. It's amazing what happens when you put more natural things in your body. So I love that, Abner. Thank you so much for saying that. I'll pass it along to the Evermore folks. They'll love to hear that too. Mark Allen, Matt puts in the work, play the jingle. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Okay. Parish Construction and Roofing, ParishBuilt.com. Clip, imagine Matt not wanting to lose at anything. I know. Erica laughs. There's some of our neighbors, like Drew goes to the park in the neighborhood, and there's a house that backs up to the park. They have a beautiful dog, and Duke, who Drew loves to go see. So Eric and Duke go to the park basically every day, so you can go watch Duke run around. The family's awesome. Like they've gotten to know Drew, and so every time Erica texts Jenny, the mom, and they always let Duke out. Anyway, they're super, super nice. Well, they have two boys who are 11 and 9, and they're rough and tumble all boy. And so they come over, and we have the little pond behind our house, so they'll fish over there and they'll swim. And sometimes, like on the weekends when they come over, they swim, and I'm in the pool. Like they want to play me in pool basketball. I have a little basketball hoop in the pool, and like not only do I not let them win, I don't let them score. Like I reject them. I swat their shots. Like, man, you'll never let us win. I said, you're right. I'll never let you win. I will never let you win, because one day you will be old enough to win, and when you do, you will know you have earned it. So yeah, no, I want to win at everything. Club Ruckus, what's going on? Brian Claus, morning, Matt. Crying Bama fans are hilarious. They just don't get it. I know. And what up, Peter? Good morning. What they don't realize is their reaction only stokes my fire even more to keep messing with them, which is a lot of fun. JMJ, good morning. Green Z, Matt, looking at all the arms we lost. I feel like we have to continue to add more. Yep. Do you have any idea who we're going after besides Myers and Root? Well, keep in mind also, you do have a freshman class coming in. So you've added guys in the portal, and you've got your handful returning. Now, Boston Bateman and William Schmidt are two of your commitments, and unlikely to show up on campus. But we'll see what happens with the draft. But let's see. Maverick Rizzi is a righty. Landon Victorian, although I know y'all have asked, and that is very much up in the air about Landon Victorian if he ever shows up. And I don't know that he will. Gunnar Gonzalez, a righty. Grant Bro from Catholic High, a righty who's been, we talked to Brad Bass this week. Grant just was injured his whole career at Catholic, but the talent is there. So, see if he can get healthy. And then Austin McCormick is a lefty. So, that's 5 pitchers, or at least 4 pitchers among the freshman class that you expect to be here. You'll probably lose 2 of them. And then, we'll see if Landon Victorian ever actually, makes the campus or plays. But so it's at least 4 freshmen there coming in. that you expect. Possibly more depending on what happens with Schmidt and Bateman, right? So you'll have enough. Amy, good morning. On3 has our class rank number 2. Every other service has a 6 to 7. Why such a disparity? So good question, Amy. And I actually did talk about that with Shay Dixon this week. The reason is because On3 weights their class for quality over quantity. So for example, like if you go to like 247, for example, every player has a rating. And so when you cumulatively add up all the ratings, right? Like for example, if we look at the 2025 class, so Ohio State is number 1 with 17 commits. Notre Dame number 2 with 21 commits. Bama number 3 with 17. Auburn 16. Then Georgia and Clemson each with 13. So they're all ahead of LSU because their rating, and then LSU 7th with 12 commits. So their rating is going to be higher because they have more players committed. That's like Dion's transfer portal class, right? When you sign 40 guys in the portal, you're going to have the highest rating because you have more players in the portal. So, or in the class. That's why On3. That's why most people have started to use On3, because they've weighted their class for that reason. They're not saying, well, just because you have 21 guys committed, your class isn't better than the one with 12 that has 3 5-stars and 11, or 2 5-stars and 11 4-stars, right? Ethan Davidson, Bama is burning is the best segment you've ever done. The LSU fans love it. The Bama fans hate you for it. That's the point. Creating disparity. Let's see, more to Matt. Any insight on when, if the program starts working with recruits on nutrition, like to see players like the New Orleans lineman, just so large of a human, such a young age? Yeah, so, I mean, you can obviously give them advice, but you can't give them resources when they're in high school, right? A lot of those guys, like when they're committed, they'll get a summer workout plan and things like that. But it's kind of on them, getting themselves in shape and ready to roll. So they'll be in touch. I'm sure they'll be transparent with that. John Foray, the Parish truck looks fire. Thank you, man. Yeah, so that was we got a truck wrapped with the Parish wrap. It'll be hard to miss. Right, right now it's at the new office on Lavo Lane. So I mean, if y'all are interested, so we're moving offices. I told y'all this, a month or so ago, closed on new office on Lavo Lane. So if you turn on Highlandia, so if you're on Highland Road, Highlandia is the road that runs parallel to I-10. It splits 2 gas stations right there, Highland and I-10, on the opposite side of the interstate of Blue Bayou. So if you turn on Highlandia, then your first left is Lavo Lane. I mean, it's like you're driving straight toward the interstate. Short road, but you're going straight toward the interstate. And at the end of the road on the left was an old Terminex building. So we bought that building, doing a gut renovation of it. So anyway, all that to say, the wrapped truck is there now. You can see it from the interstate if you're driving down. But suffice to say, whenever that building is renovated, it will be impossible to drive down Interstate 10 without knowing where Parish Construction and Roofing is. Let's see. Peter, going into year 3, how are things looking for men's basketball? Peter, they should be an NCAA tournament team. They signed a top 10 transfer portal class, and they have 3 players from the high school ranks in the top 100 nationally. It's a really good job by Matt McMahon. He's got a roster that should be an NCAA tournament team. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Please smash the like button if you would. I forgot to put the logo back on the screen. Doggone it. Matthew, sorry. Brock, you need North Peace, go to Brock. You know, all the info scrolls on the bottom, by the way, just to draw your attention to it. Brock, Parrish, Restored Motion. So if you need any of that info, it's down there. Let's see. Amy, LSU girl living in Birmingham. I promise you the Bama fans are not melting. They're extremely optimistic or believing what all national pundits are saying. Bama will be dominant. No, Amy, that's the point. I'm not saying Bama fans are melting about their team. What I'm saying is I keep pointing out all of their deficiencies, which are very obvious. Losing 40 players in the transfer portal, losing a number one quarterback in Julian Sayin, losing an All-American safety in Caleb Downs, losing your best receiver in Isaiah Bond to Texas, losing your fifth-year senior starting center in Seth McLaughlin to Ohio State, the offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, that Kalen DeBoer had brought with him from Washington, then left to go to the Seahawks. There's a lot of things like you don't, the reality, and this is what I keep pointing out. Now I'm doing it in the Bama is Burning, big theatrical segment. And so it's getting a lot of their attention because of the nature in which I present it. Yes, they believe they're going to be great, Amy. They still believe that they're not going to skip a beat and that Kalen DeBoer is going to win a natty this year and all that sort of stuff. They're also delusional. So I keep pointing out their flaws, which they don't seem to see, but I keep pointing them out in a very, very loud and theatrical way, which are very real. And I believe, Amy, like, you don't have that much turnover. You don't have that much disruption without missing a beat. Like, you don't lose literally you don't turn over literally half of your roster in 1 year. You don't, more than half. I mean, they lost 40 guys to the portal. That's not even counting the guys to the draft or guys who are out of eligibility. So you're turning over more than half of your roster in 1 year. You got a new coach, new scheme, new voice, new culture, all that sort of stuff. The offensive coordinator he hired left already. Like, you don't have that much turnover without missing a beat. Again, I think Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach, and I think he will win. But let them go. Let them lose 3 games and see what happens. Hang on. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. You're not first, you're last. What does that mean? Sure, you could be second, you could be third. Oh, Ricky, I was high when I said that. It's a Ricky Bobby line. Anyway. Deborah Coward, may both teams lose today. Go umpires. I'm with you, Deborah. I will not be watching tonight. On 3 is Brady Neal, the 6th highest rated player in the portal. I think we can all agree Neal wasn't exactly great. What does that say about transfers coming in that's ranked below Neal? I don't know. I think part of that is, Neal's ranking coming out of high school, the fact that he has played at LSU, that he has a good power bat, all that sort of stuff. So, let's see. Okay. Amy, hope the national pundits are wrong. Kalen seems to have utmost respect and hope to continue dominance. Bama thinks it's them and not just Nick. It's their brand. You see, Amy, here's the problem with that. I have lived through an era where I saw Alabama go from dominant to Mike Dubose, Mike Price, Mike Shula, Dennis Francione. Like, I lived through an era where LSU beat Alabama 6 straight years and it wasn't even that big of a game. I lived through an era where Auburn printed shirts that said one for the thumb because they beat Bama 5 straight times. Like, nothing lasts forever. No dynasty lasts forever. Again, I'm not telling you Bama's going to go 5-7. I'm just saying that the days of them winning, like, do you realize in 17 years, well, after year one, so let's say 16 years, in 16 years, Nick Saban lost 3 games one time. One time in 16 years, from 08 until last year, 2010, they lost 3 games one time. They lost to South Carolina, LSU, and Cam Newton's Auburn team in that big comeback game. That's it. One time in 16 years, they lost 3 games. Like, those days are done. Again, they might go 9-3, they might go 10-2, but their days of being 11-12 wins every year, they're done. Like, they will not. In order to sustain that, Kalen DeBoer would literally have to be the greatest coach of all time, or match the greatest coach of all time. And I'm betting that's not going to happen. Go Tigers. Ryan Solar going to whack a small ball into a small hole 18 times. There you go, Ryan. Enjoy your Saturday, man. Sambo, good morning from the 337. All right. John, did you see Sha'Carri run last night? I did not. I was at the Battle of the Bands. Will we consider the baseball team young next year? I want to see what happens with the rest of the portal. You know, I want to see what happens with the draft. Do you get Gavin Killen or Killeen? I think is how he says his name. Do you get him from Louisville? Do you get Braswell back? Does Bear Jones sign? I think he will. Does Griffin Herring return? See. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. Gulf South, why is Schmidt dropping like a rock in mock drafts? Went from top 5 overall right after state championship to a low first, high second rounder. I don't know that I ever saw him top 5 in mock drafts, Gulf South. I'm not saying he wasn't. I don't know that I ever saw him there. I think in prospect rankings, there's a big difference between like high school prospect rankings and mock drafts. But there might have been a mock draft that had him that high, and I just didn't see it. But you know, I think pretty consistently the I'm sorry, y'all. Phone's blowing up. Oh, good. Yes. Awesome. So I just got this. I'll post it in the chat because I would appreciate some help. So it took some time for us to finally get our Google verified business page up for Parish. And so I'm going to post the link in the chat where you can leave us a Google review. I know there's many of you over the years who have had us, even under a different name, but me, Tilly, Terrio, Joe, all of our crew do work for you. I just posted the link. If you wouldn't mind jumping into that link and just leaving us a 5-star review, I would just take like literally less than 60 seconds to tap that link, leave the 5-star review. That would be so appreciated. Because it's taken several months for us to get Google verified and to have our Google business account where like for SEO and all that stuff. So I know a lot of you did that before with the previous company, and I greatly appreciate it, but we just got it. They just sent me the text with the link to it. So there was a long process to get that done. Anyway, so I just posted that link. If you would, I'd appreciate it. Let's see. James Allen, didn't expect Cam Johnson going to Oklahoma. So Cam Johnson, The head coach I did have a conversation about this 2 nights ago. So the head coach at Oklahoma is Skip Johnson, and he's a pitching guru, and specifically lefties. Like he's like Clayton Kershaw's personal coach. And so Cam Johnson being a lefty, I think that was one tie there. And then the other thing they told him, I'm just telling y'all, was look, I mean, Cam Johnson struggled to throw in front of 10,000 people. He was great in the fall in an empty stadium. He struggled to throw strikes in front of 10,000 people. One of the things they told him at Oklahoma is, look, they never have more than 2,500 people at a game there. And so, and they're going to keep running him out there. The problem for him at LSU was when he couldn't throw strikes, you couldn't keep justifying putting him out there. So he needs to get innings. And so Oklahoma basically told him that. So hopefully it's a good fit for him there. I will mention that LSU does go to Norman next year. So it would really, really stink. It would really stink if you went to Norman and Cam Johnson beat you. But we'll see. Gulf South, you'll have to do something special to the new building to stand out more than the ridiculously unnecessarily bright billboard the roofing company has in that same area. We will be hard to miss. I'll put it to you that way. Bama fans hijacking morning Scone. Burn, Bama, burn. Let's see. Lefty power rating catchers will always be at a premium. That's true. Ron Ritchie, good morning, Ron. Looking forward to seeing you in person here in a few months, man. Let's see. Oh, good. It's sad that every other football program can lost 3 to 4 games a year. LSU, y'all out here writing Alabama off if they lose 3 games. No, sir. I'm not writing off Alabama. I'm just telling you that the standard that was set under the greatest coach of all time, which Nick Saban was, the greatest coach of all time, is the greatest coach of all time. The standard that was set is impossible to match. And when you live with that expectation for 2 decades and all of a sudden that's no longer attainable, it is natural to have a step back. And how do you think fans are going to? You can say that, listen, it is easy. I've done this long enough, man. I've done this job now for 7 to 8. This will be my 18th season covering LSU football. Started in do I have those numbers right? Let's see. Yeah, this will be my 18th season covering LSU football. I have my finger on the pulse of the LSU fan base. I have covered other teams, other programs. I do hundreds of radio hits throughout the year on all different stations throughout different markets and different fan bases. I have friends and colleagues in all different markets. Like, I know a lot about every single fan base in this league, every team, every program. And it is, you can say in June that, oh, look, I'd be thrilled if they go 10-2 or 9-3. You could say that. But then when the Saturday comes and you lose that game to whoever, there's a melt. And when bowl season comes and you're not in the mix for a national championship, there's a melt. And I'm telling you, that's coming this year for Alabama. It's look at USC. Pete Carroll had that thing going for a decade where they were untouchable. It was like USC and their nine or I guess it was the Pac-12 at the time. Their 9 little brothers or whatever. I mean, look at the run Pete Carroll had at SC. You know, when he got hired in 2001, they went 6-6, and then in 2002 they went 11-2 when Carson Palmer won the Heisman. Then they went 12-1, 13-0, 12-1, 11-2, 11-2, 12-1, and it was like they were rolling. And then Pete Carroll went 9-4, and then went to the Seahawks. And it's never, even been remotely close since. 9-4, then went 8-5. Kiffin had that 10-2 season, 7-6, 9-4. They won the bowl game to get to 10. 9-4, 8-6, 10-3, 11-3 with Clay Helton, then 5-7, 8-5, 5-1 in the COVID year, 4-8, 11-3 the first year under Lincoln Riley, 8-5 last year. I mean, you'll pop a double-digit season every now and again, but it ain't what it was. And that's what you're staring down. That's what Bama is staring down. And they just don't get it. Like, again, you're not going to be terrible. You're not going 5-7 every year, but you're not going to be what Nick Saban had, where every year you're winning 11 or 12 games. When the worst season Nick Saban has, the floor was 9-3 with a blowout bowl win to get to 10-3. That was the floor under Nick Saban. 10-3 was the floor. It happens to every program. And look, I mean, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, every level, it comes to an end eventually. Saban wanted to come back to LSU. FYI, Skip Bertman mucked it up. No, he didn't. There wasn't a job open at LSU. And Les Miles won a national championship in 2007. Tiger Diver, morning Scone from the DFW airport, headed for vacation. All right. Bruce Yales, morning, Matt. Hope we get some more good news from the portal soon. Let's see. LSU is 2-11 against Alabama since 2012, with Alabama beating LSU 7 years in a row. Well, it's actually 8 games in a row because you got to include the national championship game that they won. And yes, I'm well aware of that. And the funny part is that I don't say anything about LSU. I'm just talking about Alabama. Who said? I'm very comfortable in what LSU is. They've been a really good program that's won 3 national titles and played for a 4th since 2003. They've had consistently decent seasons where every half decade or so they'll pop a championship caliber team. That's a great run by anybody's standards, except Alabama's, because of Nick Saban. But I'm not saying anything about LSU. I get it. Alabama's the best team in college football for the last 2 decades. It's not even debatable. I'm not the one bringing up LSU. You're the one bringing up LSU. Like, you all Bama fans keep throwing barbs at me about LSU, like that influences my feeling one way or another. I don't care. I know what LSU is. I know exactly what LSU is. And I'm not purporting to be something they're not. The problem is you all Bama fans don't understand the reality staring you in the face. And I keep reminding you, which is why you all keep getting upset and jumping in my Twitter mentions and my chat here and everything like that, because you just don't get it. We know you don't get what he's saying. Bingo. Like, let's see. Oh, sorry. LSU never beat Bama 6 times in a row. It was 5. Oh, I'm sorry. It was just 5 times in a row. It was just 5 times in a row that LSU beat Alabama. Oh God, they're a trip, man. This is exactly, Jeff. What up, man? This is my point. That guy is so upset and insecure in himself and where that program is that he's spending his Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning on his Saturday coming into my live stream and spamming my chat to argue with people. He's spending his life, moments of your life you can never get back. Do you realize, like, that's a big thing for me, like, about doing things in your life that you want to do that bring you happiness and joy and fulfillment, because, like, when a moment passes, you never get it back. So that's one of the things I don't like to waste time. I feel like I wasted minutes of my life when I waste time doing something. So I want to do things that bring me happiness and fulfillment and joy and whatever it may be. So I'll never understand that. Like, can you imagine being the type of person that is either so unhappy or has so little to do in your life that you spend part of your Saturday jumping into another fan base's YouTube chat to argue with total strangers about something that hasn't even happened yet? I don't know, man. The link's not working. I don't know why. Okay. Thank y'all for trying. Oh, okay. Some of y'all are saying it's working now. Oh, American Patriots says it's working now. I tell you what, do me I hate to ask y'all to do this. If you text me on the show text line, maybe if I send you the link directly, maybe it'll work. 225-396-4400, 225-396-4400. Anyway. Yeah, Bama's 2024 class did include Louisiana guys. That's true. Without Nick in Tuscaloosa, see what the Amy Barber might be able to do. But yeah, I mean, Brian Kelly has built a staff of recruiters that know the state that should get the players in the state they want, as evidenced by last year. You know, you went and plucked Dominic McKinley away from Texas A&M late. Irfan Sayad Gamoggan. Don't want to face reality is about to hit them in the face. That's very true. Just like Brian Dennehy Stadium, they'll never get it. Randall, imagine being an Alabama fan with all those national championships, still worried about what some LSU fan is saying at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Bingo. Rick, morning, Matt. Bama has a new reality and a lower standard coming. It's like you were raised as a trust fund kid and your dad takes the credit card away. It's a new day. It's very true. And it's not to say you won't be able to go create a really good life for yourself and your family and be successful and all that sort of stuff. But it is definitely a new day. We troll the same way. It's fun. We all got kicked out of the Notre Dame streams. I didn't. I never went to any Notre Dame streams, but whatever. Lewis, greatest coach ever, hasn't won a championship in 4 years. Bama fans think this coach will do it in his first try at Bama. I mean, the only coach that I remember that won a natty in his first year was Larry Coker. Back in 2001, and he inherited that great Miami team. And he almost won them back-to-back, right? They lost the championship game in 2002 to Ohio State in overtime, a game that they had won, and then the flag came in late. But suffice to say, this isn't that Miami team. This Bama team isn't that Miami team. And on top of that, it's also more complex because of the 12-team playoff. Like, it's just going to be harder to win now. This not for everybody, right? The process is just harder. Instead of playing one bowl game in a 1 versus 2 or having a semifinal and a final now, you're going to have a quarterfinal, a semifinal, and a final now, conceivably. So, yeah, it's just harder. It's just going to be harder to do, you know. H-Town Creole, what's up with the DL commit? Yeah, man, let me reset that. Thank you. I realize there's probably a lot of people here now who weren't here at the beginning of the show. Yeah, so Richard Anderson, LSU had Friday Night Lights last night, big recruiting event. Richard Anderson is a 2026 defensive lineman out of Edna Carr in New Orleans who committed 6'3.5", 325. He's a high 4-star, number 131 player in the country, 7th best player in Louisiana, big defensive lineman. And he committed last night, said the decision was easy, the decision to stay home. And when you look at 2026 in Louisiana, Jakeem Stewart out of Edna Carr, number 3 player nationally. Lamar Brown out of U High, number 5 player nationally. Blaine Bradford out of Catholic, number 15 player nationally. Bryson Martinez out of EA, number 40 player nationally. Aiden Hall out of Carr, number 46 player nationally. That's the top 5 players in the state. By the way, they're all projected LSU. Jabari Mack out of Destrehan. He's kind of 50-50 Mississippi State LSU. He's a wide receiver out of Destrehan, number 75 nationally. Then Richard Anderson, number 131 nationally, the seventh best player in the state, is committed to LSU. Dylan Berriman, who's a defensive lineman out of Ouachita, heavy lean to LSU, 97%. Number 206 nationally. Then Darius McKinley, Dominic McKinley's brother, 4-star, lean to LSU as well. I mean, the top 9 players in Louisiana, 8 of the 9 are all heavy leans to LSU. And 6 of them are in the top 75 nationally. 3 of them are in the top 15. I mean, come on. Cray. 26 is a massive class in Louisiana. You put a fence around the state, get all those guys committed to being LSU Tigers together, and that's the making of a championship roster. Danny, any word on Jacoby Matthews transferring? I haven't gotten that, Danny. Let me see if I can make a call today. I know who to call. Let me see if I can find out what's up there. Brant, do you drink much on your last day of vacation? Matt, just 4 to 1. If I'm not careful, the 8-hour drive tomorrow could feel like 12. I don't know, Brant. When I'm on vacation, man, I just tend to keep it clean. Like when I go to the beach, I drink tequila, just tequila and lime, so I avoid all the sugar. But I also drink a lot of water too, man. Like I'm, evermore. But if you drink a cocktail, man, then then drink a bottle of water. I mean, it's just a good way. You stay hydrated. You just avoid all the issues. You also avoids all the cravings that you tend to have when you drink like that, and you just shoving food in your face all day. That contributes to grogginess and all that stuff. So just stay hydrated too, man. That would be my suggestion. All right, y'all. Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel. Darren, morning, Scone. Gums for the gift that keeps on giving. Can't wait for the Mike Price days to return in the coming years. Mike Price, remember, never coached a game. Boy, that was fun. I hired Mike Price from Washington State, and then he went to the used his Bama credit card at the strip club or whatever it was, and got fired before he ever coached a game. So after that, then they hired Francione from A&M. That went belly up, and then they hired Mike Shula, and that did what it did. Yeah. Let's see. So in that run, let's see. LSU beat Bama in 2000, 2001, because 2000 they broke the streak in Tiger Stadium. 01 was the Rohan Davey threw for 500 yards that day. They lost in Baton Rouge in 02. They blew out Bama in 03. 04, they beat Bama and Baton Rouge in 04. They had the overtime game there in 05. And then Jamarcus then beat him here in 06 and then beat him there in 07, right? So LSU won 7 of 8 against Bama from 2000 to 2007. Isn't that right? LSU won, right? LSU won 7 of 8 in there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so LSU won 2000, 2001, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, LSU won 7 of 8 against Alabama. Including 5 in a row. Sorry to the guy, Kangaroo, whatever, that it wasn't 6. They won 5 in a row and 7 of 8. Excuse me. Point is, it's like we've seen it happen before. It's the brand didn't help Alabama then. Nick Saban changed things. Taylor can't wait to see what Burning Bama segment's going to look like next year when they go 9-3. Wait until the Monday after any game they lose this year. That's going to be a blast. LA Chris, newsflash, LSU beat Bama more in Brian Dennehy Stadium than anyone in college football. VK Jones, what up, man? Richard Anderson's amazing. He was a terror since he was a freshman. Love to hear that, man. I mean, VK, when you're talking about a dude that's 6'3.5", 325, there just aren't many guys in high school that can physically match up to a guy like that. You know what I mean? So for sure, I believe it. Any insight on where Brady Neal is headed? No, he's from Tallahassee. I mean, some of the whispers I had heard weeks back were that he might go home to Tallahassee. Florida State's got some certainly NIL money, and that could be a spot, but I don't know. I don't know specifically. H-Down Creole teams will have to recruit really well and have depth because the new playoff system will show the best team. Let's see. Send me your email. Want to have you on next week. Yeah, but just shoot me, VK, shoot me. It's just mattmoscone@gmail.com or just text me on my show text line. 396-4400, 225-396-4400. We can make it work. I'm going on vacation next week, VK. Like we leave Thursday. So maybe we can make it work early in the week. Go Tigers news, going to FSU. I don't think he's committed, but he's from Tallahassee. That's what I said. He's from Tallahassee, and that's one of the first, most obvious names we talked about. Deltona Doug, I know someone who isn't associated with LSU in any way and knows Nuss well. Been telling me for years Nuss had a different mentality since he was a kid, mentality of a champion. You like that about Nuss. I mean, he's the son of a coach and all that stuff. He checks all those boxes. He just had to purge all the negative plays, So hopefully he's done that. Pierce, can it be assumed Richard is related to Aaron Anderson? Both are from Carr. I don't know that. Good question. Don't know. I'll ask Shea Dixon when he's on AFR on Tuesday. Richard just dumped on late. How's Battle of the Bands? Really good, man. Great crowd last night. 5 bands were all really good. Felt like 3 really stood out. That made it. There were 3 that made it very, very, very difficult. But in the end, the winner ended up being Leif Mesh out of Lafayette. 3-man band. The lead singer, who I presume that's Leif Mesh. It's spelled Leif. They did some originals, which are awesome. Anyway, his vocalist is amazing. And boy, they had a really good sound. Just very gifted musically, and opening for Kenny Wayne Shepherd. That's a perfect fit. I liked them a lot. There were 3 bands that really stood out. It was very, 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 very hard. But Leif Mesh ended up being the winner. So we, like, all the judges had scorecards, and so we judged, like, we graded them. And then as soon as they finished, we filled out the score. There were 4 of us. We filled out the scorecard, folded it up, turned it in, and like they tallied it up. So it was a great event. Ryan, living in Arkansas, it's funny how the Hogs have no line head coach, and we just got their best offensive lineman committed. Brad Davis, man, and the opportunity to play for a championship caliber program. Barry, please smash the like button. LA Chris, 2000s, we own Bama. Gulf South, Bama fans are going to have their own Bama as burning segments when they go 9-3. That's a good point. Brant, I got some rum and some Ooh. I don't think so, Brant. Still, even without like the 0 sugar, is still, I'm sure you still got like, you got artificial sweetener in there, man. I would go natural sweetener. I would go, like, if you're going to sweeten, use all natural stevia. If you're going to sweeten, but good luck there, Brant. Still think with the Gatorade, you're cruising for a rough day if you keep that up. Toki dokie. But hey, man, enjoy your last day vacation. You do you. You make Florida State sound like a premier spot for him. He loves sun and shades life for sure. I just know he's from Tallahassee, and that's one of the spots that I like. I mean, I told y'all weeks and weeks and weeks ago that Neal was a portal risk. And a lot of you poo-pooed it and were like, he's not leaving. He'll be the starter, blah, blah. I was like, he's looking at the portal. And one of the names that I heard just weeks and weeks and weeks ago was Florida State as a possibility. I do not know that's definitively where he's going. I'm not saying that, but that's just, again, like I will share with y'all information as I have it, but you got to understand the context in which I'm sharing it, because sometimes y'all get confused. Not specifically, but like giving you an update as a story develops and unfolds is not like breaking news. Me telling you Florida State has interest doesn't mean he's going to Florida State. Just like I told y'all, the kid, Bear, what's that guy's name? Whatever. Anyway, the catcher from St. Mary's who entered the transfer portal, like LSU reached out to him. I know that. I'm not telling you that he's coming here. I'm not telling you definitively any of this. I'm just telling you that LSU has interest and they reached out to him. So that's an evolving story. Devin, good morning. Let's see. VK, Aaron Anderson was 4-5 receiver. Yeah, no, we're aware. That's why I was asking if they're related, because it's two Andersons that went to Carr. It feels nostalgic how LSU has been recruiting our in-state guys. This has been a masterclass BK has been doing. He finally got the right staff. I mean, that's the point. It's the point I've made for 3 years with Brian Kelly. It's you have to value the dirt, and he didn't. It's the point. He didn't fully understand it. I'll put it to you that way. Like, he knew the talent here, but he thought bringing in Brian Polian and recruiting the way he did at Notre Dame would be the way, and that's not the way here. It might be the way at Notre Dame, but here you go all in on this state. You get the best players from this state, and then you supplement with a handful of guys nationally. You can go to Michigan at Bryce Underwood, you do it. You can go to California and get Eli Ricks, you do it. You can go to Florida and get Patrick Peterson, you do it. But you recruit the state first and foremost, and he's got the staff to do it. Strong side, how's Mike D doing? Do you guys still talk? Yeah, man, me and Mike D keep in touch. I love it, man. My hope is someday, I know Mike, whenever he couldn't come on with us anymore, it's because he took the afternoon gig on WWL with Bobby. But, my hope is at some point those guys will stop doing that show. I don't know when, but at some point they will. And whenever he does, he'll be able to come on with us again. At least that's my hope. So love Mike D. I'd put him back on air tomorrow in a millisecond if he was able. So anyway. Can we have an RC versus Hunt in a local celebrity boxing match? I'm sorry. Like Ryan Clark and Hunt Palmer? Why would you want to pair those two? Ryan Clark and Hunt Palmer? Like, what? Why in the world would you want to see that? First of all, I don't think Hunt has ever been in a fight in his life, so that would be a total non-starter. And that would just be not competitive. Taylor, I know it's like choosing the lesser of two evils. Would you rather? Yeah, so we talked about this, Taylor, after I think Friday after the finals were set. But yeah, I'd probably like to see A&M win it. I know they haven't won a national championship in a team sport or a men's team sport since like the 30s, and so a lot of people would like to just keep them in their corner. But I'm actually talking about that with Hunt, but I disagree. I guess seeing Mississippi State and Ole Miss both win it the last few years, that was always the thought. Well, now they have that notch in their belt. They have that card they can play in a recruiting visit, and it hasn't helped them at all. Their programs have been bad the last couple of years since winning. So, they can put a banner on the wall and all that stuff and get rings, and they can print cups or whatever, but I don't know that it's immensely helped their programs. So I would say the same about A&M, and I just think A&M people are nicer. I think Tony Vitello and the whole Tennessee baseball crowd, they're just jerks, and I don't want good things for them. So I don't want to say I want to see A&M win. I'd say I want to see Tennessee lose more. I'm more interested in seeing Tennessee lose. Get some My High, support former LSU great and the greatest backup quarterback in history, Matt Flynn. You can do My High or you can do Evermore, which is what I would recommend you do. But My High is great too if you want to add a hydration, multiplier to your Evermore. But drink Evermore. Let's see. That sounds odd. Florida State coming off a strong showing in the College World Series with NIL money for sure sounds good. All good. Matthew Landry, like Alabama, has interest in 3 straight quarterbacks. Just like Alabama has interest in 3 straight quarterbacks. Sorry, I didn't get that one. I probably just went out of order in comments. My apologies. Devin, how bad was the Bama meltdown on yesterday's episode? Do I need to go back and watch it? Devin, if you're talking about Morning Scone, then it was something to behold. There were 3 or 4 Bammers that jumped into the Morning Scone chat yesterday, and it just kind of kept going there. RC Condon against Hunt. Yeah, no, they're not going to fight. Randall, Mike D is a wealth of football knowledge. Can wish him to talk for hours. Yeah, he's awesome. Shea on Tuesdays, make defense great again. Shea Dixon every Tuesday, 3:15 Central. Shea Dixon Tuesdays, 3:15. Rex, Matt, just suggestion. You should have 3 color scheme hats. You're wearing Tulane now. Saints and LSU with Parrish on the front makes sense. Yeah, no, Rex. There's no school affiliation. It's not Tulane. It's just we're green. And there's some of the logos have like a little blue, a light blue accent. It's not Tulane. It's not LSU. Like that's the other logo. That's just green. It's same thing with sneakers. Not everything has to be affiliated with a school. And I'll tell you, branding is very important. And there are other roof companies that brand with different colors. And so ours is green, and we want to look different than the other roofing companies, so there's no confusion. So, no, not interested in doing that. I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm not interested in doing that. Screw Tennessee too. Coach O did a good job keeping kids in state, better than Miles. Brian Kelly's finally doing a great job. Saban leaving will make it easier too. Richard, if I drink tequila at the beach, I'll be shark bait. Have to stick to beer. It goes well with salt water. Little whiskey in the nightcap. Not a bad way to do it. Devin, good morning. Seems like Brian Kelly might be figuring out the recruiting need. DL, let's go. Brian, I've been watching Richard Anderson since his sophomore year. He's the best player in Carr's defense, most athletically gifted unit in Louisiana. Love to hear that. Richard, can't believe I missed the Bammers. That would have been fun yesterday. If you want to go back and watch it, you can. Where did Parrish come from? As in, how'd you land on that name? Workshopped it with a web and logo designer, and we came up with a whole bunch of different names. Bunch of different logos. I think Parrish we liked because obviously there is a Louisiana tie, being that we have parishes here, but it's also generic enough that if we, it could be someone's name. If we ever wanted to do work outside of the state, which of course we do, it's not just a Louisiana thing. I know right here there's the boot on the logo, but we also have a logo where you can remove the boot if we wanted to. Like you could just take that off if you wanted to be Parrish Construction and Roofing. Anyway, it's a pretty cool ode to Louisiana. This was meant to look like a street sign. The shield was meant to look like the interstate sign. So yeah, we had several different ideas that we kind of workshopped a little bit. And by several, I mean like dozens and dozens and dozens. And this is the one we landed on that we all really liked. So I looked at the name is, I don't want to say it's inconsequential. I think how you build brand around the name is what's consequential. So, wearing the hat and the shirt every day and everywhere I go and branding it, putting it out there and doing the jingle is what's going to be more memorable. So you build the brand around the name. It's, it's kind of a chicken or the egg question, but I believe it's you have, it doesn't matter how great your brand or your logo, your name or your logo is, you have to build the brand around it. So Randall, I don't see yesterday's episode of Morning Scone on your channel. It's there on YouTube. It's there. I'm looking at it right there. LSU lands number 1 interior offensive lineman for 25. Carries Kern. LSU Tiger Football News. I'm looking at it right there. It's there. Go look at Randall. When you go to my channel, go to playlists. I should have been doing this forever. There's a Morning Scone playlist. I'm going to start adding Morning Scone to the Morning Scone playlist on YouTube. So go to my YouTube channel, hit playlist, pick the Morning Scone playlist, and you'll see it'll be there. Brian McCon for Anderson is Nick Fairley, balance, run, stuffing, and run passer. Brian. Nick Fairley is arguably the most disruptive interior defensive lineman I've seen in my career covering the SEC and LSU. That's high praise, man. Hey, babe. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess the earlier the better. 8:50.
Oh, it's just 8:20.
You want to get him up? We can get him up and go at 8:20. I'll get him up. Well, I'd have, yeah. The earlier one, the better.
8:20.
Yeah. Let's see. Ryan, I feel like it's about to feel like the early 2000s around the Bayou. Hey, man, let's not forget, man, like the LSU's had other great teams even since then. you know. But yes, put the fence around the state, get the best players. LFG. Hunt the good egg. Gulf South makes sense. If you go to Florida, Parish construction sounds better than something like Hudak construction. Bingo. Yes, exactly. We wanted something that felt that people in Louisiana would understand it feels local, but if we work outside of Louisiana, it still feels like it could be anywhere. Yes. Randall. Oh, got it. Yep. Yeah, thank you. Calling a junior in high school Nick Fairley that's a tough comp. Brian, Matt, what's the over-under on Bama making the Duke's Mayo Bowl asking for a friend? I think they'll do better than that. But I mean, I'll remind you, like LSU's projected win total this year over-under is 9.5. Alabama's projected win total this year over-under is 9.5. I don't know the last time Bama's Vegas win total was under 10 games. Like, I don't know that it has been since Nick's been there. So, anyway. All right, y'all. I think we're just about done. Thanks for being there. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Facebook, again, we're streaming on my profile now, personal profile. So, again, the profile picture is me and Erica from New York. You can follow that profile. That's where we're streaming on Facebook now. I'm sharing it to my YouTube or to my Facebook page, but we're originating it from the profile. Long story short, it just has to do with how Facebook's distributing things now. So please do me a favor, go to that profile and follow the profile and set your notifications. We'd appreciate it. Okay. Remember, Brock Rock and Wine, Saturday, Saturday, July 27th. We'll see y'all there. And Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need a roof, give us a shout. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Okay. Y'all have an awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow. Lock.